Let's talk about career resilience, or the practices that are best for creating multiple opportunities over time, even if you don't know what the future landscape is going to look like. So I think this is applicable regardless of if you're between roles or if you're in a role now and you're just planning for the future. Everybody's in all different situations. What we all have in common is the landscape has changed dramatically in the last few months. Opportunities are being created as we speak, and this is an opportunity to dare to thrive. The idea of installing practices that keep you resilient and nimble as you plan out your future, regardless of if there's chaotic circumstances or not, I think is very valuable, especially valuable now as people are needing to reinvent themselves or just thinking about the future and what opportunities will be available. By the end of this video, I will leave you with 3 strategies that you can implement now that will leave you well positioned to create what you want for the next chapter of your career. For the best strategies to take your career to the next level, whether that's increasing your compensation, increasing your responsibility, taking on leading a team, getting promoted, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you can be notified when I post new content. I'm Christina dellisanti-Miller of Full Potential Realized, and I'm a career transition coach. I have helped hundreds of women to take their career to the next level beyond what they thought was possible. And I help people future-proof their career so that they have possibilities as they evolve and as the economy and the markets evolve. I'd like to assert that 3 things need to be invested in ongoingly: your relationships, your skills and ability, and understanding the future needs of your clients. And putting those all together builds your confidence and your ability to own your expertise so that you can pivot when things are changing and continue to deliver value-added service or expertise in a way that's going to be consumed by the marketplace. One of the things that Lean In provided to women's groups years ago was this idea of multipliers. They had video vignettes where they explained different ways to approach your career that would help you move it forward effectively. And this idea of multipliers sticks with me. And so I want to use that as a framing for today's 3 points, because if there's a way to do them all together or some of them together to meet multiple objectives with the same action, then that streamlines the amount of effort that's required to execute on these. These are all things that you already know how to do, and you've probably been already doing them, maybe in fits and starts. So I'm going to challenge you to incorporate routines that keep them active regardless of what's going on. So when things are good, when things are crazy, how do you fit these into your normal way of doing business? Let's start with future needs. So the future might be in the short future or even adapting to what's going on now. What do clients need? So this could be 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, but thinking about what is going to take place that is going to have your business be competitive. What are customers going to need? What are clients' problems that are going to need to be solved? And how do those problems evolve as market conditions change? And this is a really interesting time to think about what's needed and how to respond quickly, because those who will come up with solutions or who have solutions that meet the current need, like Zoom, who apparently doubled their stock price over this time, are going to be the ones who are able to move forward. Second one is continuing to not only build your skills and experiences, but to continue to build your learning agility, right? The ability to learn on the fly, because we don't necessarily know what the conditions are, but those who can react quickest and learn quickly are going to be the ones who can adapt and come up with the solutions that are going to be needed. And, you know, I always say that the ones who are identified as high potentials, learning agility is one of the things that is one of the key criteria that predicts high potential success, high potential leadership. So how can you give yourself experiences where you're continuing to build your skills and connect them with what may be needed in the future? I'm pulling it all together, right? So the third thing is investing in your relationships. When I went from my not-for-profit back into corporate, one of my colleagues took me for tea, and thank you very much. I appreciated that. And he said, look, you've been out of the workforce for 7 years running your small business. Everything is different since you left. It's all about using LinkedIn and your relationships and finding ways to apply what you've learned and delivering it in situations where it's needed. And the best way to find out where those roles are to talk to people, because The positions that are most exciting are never posted, and people have in mind who they want. So by navigating your existing relationships, finding out what people are needing and what they're going to need, and having conversations about how you can apply your skills to what they're going to need and make a difference for them and their customers is the best way to navigate finding the next role. And these are conversations you can be having while you're in your current role or when you're searching for a role. But it's building layers and layers of conversations with people in your network over time where you're really understanding what they're up to, what they need, and how that matches with your ever-evolving skill set. One of the ways that you pull this all together, this idea of investing in your relationships, understanding what your organization's future needs are, and building your skills, is you're mapping what skills you want to develop based on conversations that you have. And the kind of conversations that you have include talking about your colleagues' businesses and what they're up against, what their challenges are, and understanding how the competitor threats or how the needs of their customers are presenting themselves. And thinking about how can you put that together to build new skills and capabilities, or how can you further evolve the skills and capabilities that you have and the things that you love to do best to solve those needs. So I'm curious what strategies you've used to continue to build the kind of infrastructure that's going to make a great platform for you to build your next career step on. Please share in the comments and benefit other members of this community. These ideas are part of a bigger process for taking your career to the next level. If you're interested in learning my 8-step method for accelerating your advancement, check out my free training at fullpotentialrealized.com/advance. I'll put a link in the description. Check out these other videos on taking your career to the next level, and please give the video a like, share it with your friends, give it a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thanks. I look forward to seeing you next time.